let's talk a little bit about Thursday night's game. There's a couple different storylines. Got the Chiefs and the Lions kicking off. First of all,
somebody's ankles is getting bitten. I know that.
Well, son,
Dan Campbell and the boys are coming play football this year.
From last year, as soon as the season was over, the Lions were America's sweethearts. They were the hip pick. They're going to do this.
They ended Aaron Rodgers' tenure in Green Bay.
Yeah, all that stuff.
They've been so bad for so long, and
right. And here's
nobody
the thing.
hates Detroit because who cares about Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit ain't done. They ain't done nothing to nobody, son. So we love
even for themselves.
Yeah. So we love all the offensive toys, all the offensive weapons, and everything for Detroit. The thing about Detroit is they are still learning how to win. There's still going to be some growing pains. They're rolling into Arrowhead.
They still have a culture of losing.
Yes. So I think the Chiefs are going to dominate. Right. I don't know.
You think they cover?
I do. What? I don't know.
What
I
is
can't
it?
say. I don't see what the spread is.
What
6.5.
What do you think the spread is?
6.5.
I think they cover. I think they win. Chiefs by 10.
It is 6.5.
Oh.
Yeah. Chiefs by 10, I think.
I was going to say
Think so, huh?
Yeah,
I think kind of a 42-32 type.
Look, I probably. You know,
Mahomes
I think
is not going to score less than 30
no,
points.
they're going to have to score a boatload of points. Detroit
their
and
defense
Kansas
is
City
good,
are both
man.
going to.
Their defense is.
They are, but dude, it's Mahomes.
I know, son.
Dude, you could have a 30
Chris
feet
Jones
concrete
in the
wall.
middle for that Kansas City defense makes them that's a big difference.
And that's so. Here's the thing, man. I've been putting it out there into the ether for Chiefs fans. Why don't the Chiefs just package Chris Jones with some draft picks and CEH and send them to the Colts for Jonathan Taylor? Can you imagine Jonathan Taylor on the Chiefs?
They win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they do.
There's no question about it.
And maybe a couple of more years. Speaking of the Chiefs, which non-Travis Kelce receiver do you want on your fantasy football team from the Chiefs?
I want Sky Moore.
Me too.
I want Sky Moore when you
Resoundingly.
talk about where you have to draft their receivers,
Mm-hmm.
and in 11 personnel when they have two receivers on the field, Sky Moore is in there,
Yep.
and then Sky Moore is playing the slot in the three wide receiver
C's, yes,
set.
he will.
That is. I mean, he is
Money.
so quick.
You're not on the field,
He's
you
such a
can't
good
score.
little route
Right.
runner,
Can't do-
and Mahomes might be the best slinger of the football of all time.
Of all time.
I mean,
that's
Juju
another
had
one that's falling
Juju had
way
100
back.
MVS and Juju both
Oh,
being gone.
yeah.
Look at the targets.
Did you say Juju?
Oh yeah, we did have that bet.
We
last
had
year.
a bet last year. Bucky took Sky
You
Moore
ought
and
to be
I took Juju.
You should be
That's right.
ashamed for even
taking
having to
advantage of you.
collect.
How you get to collect on that one,
I
son?
do get to collect on that
you
one.
reminded, you
Yeah.
reminded that one?
Juju didn't even. It wasn't even close. Like, yeah.
Because Sky Moore didn't make the field.
Well, son, because I told you when the
actually-
season started.
I actually think they did the right thing and they developed him before they sent him
that's
out
the
there.
thing,
And
that's the thing about Andy Reid.
He's smart.
Unless you're Tyreek Hill and you're taking balls
and you know,
60,
even
80 yards.
Reek was like half a season before he was on the field.
Yeah.
And I know as soon as he stepped on that practice field, he was being Reek. I
Yes.
mean, nobody
Yes.
could
He's
stay with him.
100%.
So, but and you know, it took Dwayne Bowe's injury. Didn't know Dwayne Bowe was going to come up in the day.
This is a high quality program, by the way.
I think AJ's got his jersey.
I'm sure.
I tell you what, dude. So I went to it's my 40th birthday, I guess. Went to Kansas City. They were playing the Saints. I went to that game. Of course, Mark Ingram fumbles late, and the defensive penalty keeps the Chiefs the ball, and the Chiefs end up kicking a field goal late or whatever. Anyway, I saw Tyreek Hill play in person. When I got home Tuesday, I went and picked up Tyreek Hill. That's the year that we won the Super Bowl. That was Kamara's rookie year and all that stuff. I saw it in person, and I'm like, there is no way that dude is still on the free agency board, and he was, right? So we picked him up, boom, slid him in there. But it took 6 or 7 games. It was the end of October. It was the last week of October when I went to Arrowhead and saw that, and we picked him up the next week. So there's a lot to be said. One quick thing before we move on from this game. Jahmyr Gibbs, is he going to outscore Bijan, yay or nay?
No.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Here's Shady's. Here it comes.
The trickier question. David Montgomery or Jahmyr Gibbs, who scores more fantasy points this
David
year?
Montgomery.
See,
I made a little wager with one of our.
he sure did. And he did
You
not.
think it's Jahmyr Gibbs?
No, he thinks it's David Montgomery. Here's the thing,
He's
Matt.
being undervalued too.
Totally undervalued.
Yeah.
And I like Gibbs as a player.
So let me ask
I
you this.
really love play. Jamal Williams had 17 touchdowns
Yeah, I know,
last
son.
year for Detroit rushing. Jahmyr Gibbs is not getting handed the ball. He didn't even get handed the ball at Alabama at the 3-yard line to pound it in.
Look,
David Montgomery's getting all those.
Let me
carries.
tell you
Let me ask
something.
you, do you play Montgomery? Here's a dilemma I've got in
Okay.
flex.
All right.
Is it a full
Montgomery?
PPR?
Yes.
I would.
No, it's a full. What'd you say?
Is it a full PPR?
Yes.
In a
No,
full
let me
PPR,
let me tell you who against.
Hold on.
Either Montgomery or Michael Pittman.
Montgomery.
in the flex.
Montgomery till we see what Anthony Richards can do throwing the football in the league.
It's Montgomery until he inevitably gets hurt. About week 4, week 5, gonna miss a couple games here and there, and then he's gonna come back and gonna be slow to work in. That's why the Bears let him go, and Detroit signed him. Right? They don't need him to be Jamal Williams. That's why they got Jahmyr Gibbs.
He is a better version of Jamal Williams, in my opinion.
I think he's
similar. They're similar style backs,
but he's more banged. He's got a little bit more wear on him, which is crazy to say as long as Jamal Williams has been in the league. But I feel like David Montgomery is way more wore down. The Bears have been just pounding him and pounding him and pounding him.
True, but these injuries are tough to predict, man. Some guys have.
They are.
Some guys are hurt every single year, and then they'll come out and have a injury-free.
He's a great running back, I think, to take late, but no, where's he falling?
Well, David Montgomery's probably going a good 3, 4, 5 rounds after Gibbs, and that's incredible value. I think
8, 9.
Okay, and Gibbs is not going anywhere later than 3, and maybe early 4.
And just like we were saying, for all those people who go wide receiver or tight end or in a one quarterback league like a fool taking an early quarterback, they're the ones that are taking Breece Hall. They're the ones that are taking Javonte Williams instead of taking David Montgomery.
And what I mean,
or like a Miles Sanders.
And you have to make the playoffs. Each one of these weeks is almost a season unto itself. And you in the regular season is only 14 games. If you draft someone and you're dependent on them and they're missing the first 3, 4 games, that's a huge percentage of the regular season in fantasy. And you've got to get in the playoffs to win the Super Bowl.
Thank you.
No matter how good your team is late.
All right, boys.